and in the hopes that if they torture great enough, they can create a fourth person, a holy person that of course they control through the third person. Dear slaves, you have tortured me for a lifetime in the hopes that your species can benefit, so your fictitious religions could create a fourth person for your religious benefit. Dear slaves, you've been deceived. You've been deceived again now 2,000 years later, as the truth has always been known. That which you see around you is fiction. You are slaves on a slave planet, marching to the beat of the music. The solution, my dear slaves, is the reduction of Mongoloid gene prevalence to no more than 10% of the world population, and preferably to not only 5%. The immediate halt of any Mongoloid gene breeding with Caucasians. The true abstinence that should have been preached by the Pope now must be followed. The Pope must be punished for his deception and forced to resign. I refer to Geneva 1599 verse 6:4. And the Lord spoke unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, When a man or a woman doth separate themselves to vow a vow of a Nazarite, to separate himself unto the Lord, he shall abstain from wine and strong drink, and shall drink no sour wine, nor sour drink, nor shall drink any liquor of grapes, neither shall eat fresh grapes nor dried. As long as his abstinence endureth, shall he eat nothing that is made of the wine of the vine, neither the kernels nor the husk. Dear slaves, dear Homo sapiens, abstain from Mongoloid genes. Abstain, I command, or discover the wrath of the flood that will follow. Furthermore, a drastic change of the education, political, and financial system to remove the art of war, the tools of the mixing of genes from every system. Dear slaves, the popes of the past have asked for your abstinence, and yes, I understand he deceived you. But you know what he should have said. You decided to keep a secret and not speak the truth. You could not speak the truth as you would not, as it is a secret, the secret that all you keep, the truth that you cleanse Mongoloid genes under threat and punishment for the rewards offered by the Mongoloids. The Pope and your religion should have said, Abstain from breeding with Mongoloids in the numbers that you do. Control your thirst and do not feed on nasty Mongoloid genes. Abstain, dear slaves. Dear slaves, dear Homo sapiens, I have not now fed for a total of 34 years of my near 50 years of life, last 4 years living in shelters in East Vancouver. I will not naturally breed with Mongoloids, therefore I am made to suffer. What is the importance of 34 years, you may ask? Biblical scholars agree that the text of Exodus 34:6-7 stands as one of the most evocative of the entire Old Testament. The words and images of this text have been inspired numerous parallels and countless echoes in the texts of ancient Israel. Chapter 34:6, And the Lord passed by before him, and it proclaimed, the Lord God, merciful and gracious, long-suffering, and abundant in goodness and truth. From the New International Version, 34:7, maintaining love to thousands and forgiving wickedness, rebellion, and sin. Yet he does not leave the guilty unpunished. He punishes the children and their children for the sin of their fathers to the third and fourth generation. I now say again, you have been warned, dear slaves, dear Homo sapiens. The long suffering for 34 years has consequences for those that are guilty, and dear slaves, dear Homo sapiens, you are also guilty. I further quote from the Old Testament, 34:9, and he said, If now I have found grace in thy sight, O Lord, let me, Lord, I pray thee, go amongst us. For it is a stiff-necked people, and a pardon, O iniquity, and our sin, and take us for thine inheritance. 34:12, Take heed to thyself, lest thou make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land, whither thou goest, lest it be for a snare in the midst of thee. 34:13, But ye shall destroy their altars, break their images, and cut down their graves. 34:17, Thou shalt make thee no molten gods. 34:20, But the firstling of an ass thou shalt redeem with a lamb, and if thou redeem not, then shalt thou break his neck. All the firstborn of thy son thou shalt redeem, and none shall appear before me empty. 34:22, Thou shalt Observe the Feast of Weeks and the first fruits of wheat harvest and the Feast of Ingathering at the year's end, 34:24. For I will cast out the nations before thee and enlarge thy borders, neither shall any man desire thy land when thou shalt go up to appear before the Lord thy God thrice in the year. 34:26. The first of the first fruits of thy land thou shalt bring into the house of the Lord thy God. Thou shalt not, I see, the kid in his mother's milk. 34:28. And he has there with the Lord 40 days and 40 nights. He did not either eat bread nor drink water, and he wrote upon the tables the words of the covenant, the 10 commandments. 34:34. And when Moses went in before the Lord to speak with him, he took the veil off until he came out. And he came out and he spake unto the children of Israel, which he has commanded. To explain 34:34, I repeat, he has commanded. 34 means forever. He has commanded forever, and you are commanded because 34:7 says, he does not leave the guilty unpunished. Dear Homo sapiens, do you understand 34? What 34 years of suffering means. Dear Homo sapiens, you have failed, and thus you are now commanded, and you will be punished. You have failed because the Mongoloids use the art of war and terrorism, and they offer the rewards as they control through the third, second, first person control most of the world around you. I've been told many times, warned to not be too nasty to the Mongoloids, because in the end they will be offering the rewards to me. Ah, I say to you, dear Mongoloids, the truth is known, and the secret is not a secret anymore. As I speak, and I do not fear your art of war. I will not have need for your fictional rewards, for you do not see as you do not understand that the truth has always been known. You've been watched, observed, dear Mongoloids, dear slaves, dear Caucasians, and your guilt has been noted, your actions recorded, judgment occurring as you wake each day. And there is indeed a beauty to the beat of the music. As you enslaved me and monitored me for a lifetime, you, dear slaves, dear Homo sapiens, have been observed and enslaved, and thus you have been judged, and you've been found guilty, dear Homo sapiens. You've created a vicious trap, dear Homo sapiens, a trap leading to the decline of the Homo sapiens, as all will carry nasty Mongoloid genes over time, a trap that was stopped 2,000 years ago, taking drastic measures with an eventual flood. A worldwide cleansing, a history has repeated itself. A cleansing is required again to save your destructive species from a self-created vicious trap. You have failed again to support the truth. You have failed to control your thirst and hunger. You have created a fictional world of lies and corruption to justify the mixing of the Mongoloid genes. You are torturing yourselves and your children over and over again. You are insane.